Hello, welcome to Record Sports Hotline Live. My name is Daniel Caw. I'm delighted to be joined by Keith Jackson. Keith, how's it going?
Are you?
Always delighted.
I feel as if we're now sort of kind of glued at the hip here, aren't we?
But one man who's probably not so delighted is Record Sports Michael Gannon, who's in Como.
Hi, I'm in sunny Como, boys.
It's the Grim Reaper.
I tell you what, the chickens are home to roost now. The karma's come back to bite me.
Oh, mate, I feel so sorry for you, mate.
The
I'm
beautiful
absolutely
sunny days I've had
devastated for
been
you.
replaced by this thunder and lightning and storm. It's absolutely bouncing down.
Oh, careful you don't get struck by lightning or anything. That'd be terrible.
That would be bad,
That
aye.
would
Well,
be
I got to
terrible.
say, at some
I
point,
imagine as part of this broadcast, because his laptop is... Yeah, that'd be awful.
well, you know, sometimes the cosmic karma, the big man gets the one hand, takes away with the other. So those lovely afternoons in the sunshine, you have to pay the piper somehow, don't you? but no, it's wild here.
Unfortunately, you've got a roof over you.
Now, thankfully, yeah, but the way into the ground, we get absolutely soaked coming in. Proper soaked as well, like hosed down. I mean, it looks as though it's starting to kind of clear up now, so it should be clear in an hour or so for kickoff.
I know, we're laughing, Mick, but big game in doubt. Is there any
Well,
sort of...
if you'd asked me half an hour ago, I thought this game's got no chance, because when you still hear the occasional clap of thunder, so they'll not start it while there's thunder and lightning. So it might be a wee bit later.
yeah.
But no, they've got about that time left. But there's no teams haven't appeared yet, obviously, it's still a bit early. But it was absolutely bouncing up until it's starting to kind of ease. Now you can see it behind me. It's starting to ease a wee bit now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was wild.
Jeez, oh, Mick.
Honestly, it's the wind's blowing, the thunder and lightning. It's you hear the thunder?
Aye, I can hear it.
That's not my stomach, by the way. Yeah.
After 2 days of eating Parmesan cheese and black pepper.
That's it. All these cheeky bowls of pasta. But no, it's listen. It wouldn't be pre-season without some sort of daftness, wouldn't it? There's always something that happens in pre-season. This is our one for this trip. But we'll see how it goes. If this keeps up, I think the game might be in doubt. But it does look as though it's easing a wee bit. It depends on the thunder and lightning.
So last night, Mick, Como, they won their game.
They beat Alali 3-1.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means if this game goes ahead, Celtic against Ajax tonight, and if the winner will go on to play Como on Sunday, is that right?
On Sunday, and the loser will play Al Ahly on Saturday night. So yeah, so it's a kind of if they win, they've got an extra day in Como. If they lose, they get home early. So it's there's a lot at stake here for all of us.
As our pal Gianni in the comments says, it'd be good to see Alex Valle and Kuhn play against Celtic. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I told you I'm looking forward to Kieran Tierney playing against
Nicholas Kuhn
on that same wing. I think that could be a fascinating matchup. And I think I know who I'd bet to come out on top as well.
But I mean, before we actually get too stuck into Celtic, I should say that later in the show, Tam McManus is going to join us. Obviously, it's a massive night for Hibs as well. Get the Hibs starting lineup.
Right, we have signed Tam McManus for Hotline Live.
I know, but an astonishing free transfer.
Oh, by the way, we're having a major summer rebuild, so
it's been needed some weeks.
Yeah. Some need to be quite careful.
But while we're on Celtic, Mick, our transfer guru Scott Burns was doing a Q&A on our transfer blog today. He says that Celtic are still very much in the running for Balikwisha. Can you tell us any more? Any rumours you've heard out there?
Listen, that's the way it's been for weeks. We asked about it last night. Ben Rodgers, they said there's nothing really changed on him in terms of moving forward. So it's as you were, but they still remain interested. I suspect they're waiting for the value to come down. I think it will come down. I think Antwerp are desperate to sell. Celtic know that as well. The only danger is if someone else comes in the meantime, which might force their hand. But I think they'll get them for. I think if they hold tight, they'll get them for a bit of a reduced value. So yeah, at the moment it's still ongoing.
How much are Antwerp wanting? What's the demand, Mick? What price tag have they set?
Listen, the talk was at the start of the summer was 5.5 million, 6 million. Then it was down to 5. Then it's 4.5. Now it's 4.2. So they want them at the door quickly to get the money in so they can spend it as well. So we're getting to that stage. It's very much a kind of game of poker, really. But at some point they're going to need to show their hands, aren't they? And if they want this guy, they go and get him. So yeah, it's a live one. I still think it's a distinct possibility, but at some point they're going to have to go and make the move. At this point in time, they haven't been back in with a concrete bid. So at some point they're going to have to.
Mick, see with this one, you know how we've been talking about, are we witnessing a two-tier Celtic kind of transfer strategy this summer? This one, I think, would be classed as very much the second tier, the Brendan Rodgers tier.
Well, listen, we spoke to him last night about this, and he said it's all part of the same strategy, but it's not so much a Brendan Rodgers signing and a club signing. It's more of a player for the future and a player for now.
For now,
He's got his players for the future in the building now, and it's now time to get the players for now. So that he's very adamant. The signings coming in now are for the here and now. Have to be, like as you say, the oven ready, experienced players that can come in and make a difference to the first team. So that's what he's after in the next few weeks. But he was at kind of pains to say that right. It's joined up thinking at the club. It's not a case of manager signings and club signings. He's got the final say, and he'll carry the can for every signing. So he was adamant on it.
I love that, Mick. But let's get it right. It was Brendan himself who described who was the arrival. He described him as a club signing, a club investment.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of set that here running.
Yeah, so
I think that's why.
Come on now, Brendan.
That's why we have to clarify it. I'm sorry, I'm actually holding up my laptop here, boys. It's like Dorothy in Kansas. I've just seen Toto flying by my ears. I've lost my red slippers.
I'm sure I can see a tree throwing an apple at you.
Honest, wild here. But yeah, so he kind of wanted to clarify it a wee bit last night, but I still think we know that there is players that come through the kind of scouting recruitment process. And he thinks, okay, we'll take a look at them for down the line, but he desperately needs guys that can do the business right away, hit the ground running.
Yeah, guys that improve the first 11.
Yes.
And we've talked about it, Mick. You're confident. I mean, you're confident they will get that in the end.
Well, I've been saying that. Yeah, I think they will get in 3 or 4 guys who fit that bill. Whether it's the 3 or 4 guys that they want at the top of the list, that's a different question. What they end up paying for them is also a different question. But listen, remember, it's only January when they went for they were trying to get the replacement for Kyogo and didn't manage to do it. So it wasn't that long ago when they failed in this kind of task. So they have to really get this done. They have to get deals over the line. So the pressure's kind of on, and the manager's kind of, I'm not saying he's put it on the club chiefs to get it done, but he kind of has nudged it in there and said, listen, we need these things moving now. I keep saying it, I need these players. Mm-hmm. So it's over to them, really.
He's cute in the way he does it, isn't he?
Oh, he's the best at it.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Celtic have actually just tweeted team news on the way, so it looks like the game is probably going to go ahead, I think, Mick.
It is, yeah. They're going to play the first half as a water polo match. But this is going to be... This is the old cliche. These conditions might suit the Scots.
Well, listen, Mick, I hope it kind of... I was going to say I hope it brightens up for you, but to be honest...
No, I hope it doesn't.
You've had enough fun and frolicking for the last couple of days.
I'm sensing a wee hint of schadenfreude to you two chaps here. Me talking about my bowls of pasta, my boat trips and all that stuff.
Your boat trips and that, I know.
Well, you did bring it upon yourself, Michael.
Well, no, Mick, I hope it improves for you, and I hope it's a cracker of a water polo game tonight.
Yeah, I'm waiting to try and get a hairdryer and go and dry myself off before the kick-off. I'm absolutely soaked.
Nice one. Thanks very much, Mick.
Right, chaps, see you later on.
Cheers, Mick.
Yeah, bye.
And like that, I'm able to bring in a substitute, Keith. One and only Tam McManus, Joyce.
A new signing, new addition to the Hotline Live squad.
Off the bench. The usual last 20 minutes, get the appearance money, nick a goal.
No, you're part of my signing strategy, Tam. You're coming in as you're going straight into the first team. Daniel's place can no longer be taken for granted.
No longer guaranteed.
But you're in, Tam.
Before we go any further,
Danny, I thought I was a Jonah, but Mick going to Como and it's pissing the rain or something. He takes a biscuit. That's unlucky, isn't it?
I think it's cheered us all up, Tam, to be perfectly honest.
Just a wee bit. Before we go any further, though, our pal Gianni, who writes in often, Tam, he says he offered Keith and Daniel Amoruso tonight, but we've gone for Tam instead. I can confirm that is not true. Tam was the first choice signing.
Aye, it's two different.
Gianni just likes to cause trouble.
Aye, I know Gianni well. He needs to watch it.
Well, obviously, Tam, massive night. We talked about Celtic there, but obviously, massive night for Hibs. Midtjylland in the Europa League qualifier.
Yeah, and we've had to get Tam on nice and early so that he can get away in time for kickoff.
It's an annoying kickoff time, isn't it? 6:30.
Yeah.
But we've actually got the Hibs starting lineup. I think we can look at there. Pretty strong team, obviously.
Yeah.
You fancy them, Keith, tonight, don't you?
I do, and I noticed, Tam, I read your kind of opinion on it as well the other day, which is similar to mine. I actually think Hibs, and I think it would constitute a shock because, you know, Midtjylland are experienced European campaigners with a very decent reputation. It's not going to surprise me at all, though, if Hibs go and get a result there tonight and get through this over the 2 legs. It's a big ask, but I think it's really achievable with this Hibs side.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the way they finished the season last year, I think the first part of the season you'd have given them no chance in this tie. Second part of the season, superb. You know, went on a great run of form, looked very solid at the back. And listen, I think they go over there, they just try and keep the tie alive. I think if you can get back to Easter Road, you know, 20-odd thousand there, full house, you know, and you're still in the tie, then you've got every opportunity. But you're right, they are a seasoned European campaigners. You know, they got in the Europa League group stages last year. They've been in the Champions League group stages as well, so they're a good side. I watched their game at the weekend, 3 each. They could have scored 7 or 8, but they could have conceded 5 or 6. They were really, really open. The way they played, they were quite direct as well. They got it forward quickly. So, listen, I think there's going to be goals in the game, and you're just hoping that Hibs can stay in the tie and bring it back to Leith.
See, the thing is, though, I mean, I do say that this is a really hard tie for Hibs, but Hibs were the form team in the country for the last 6 months.
They were going point for point with Celtic towards the end of last season.
Obviously beat Celtic as well.
Yeah, they've strengthened over the summer, and David Gray's got them in such a good place. I just feel, Tam, don't know about yourself, but you know, comes around every summer and we're looking at our, you know, belly buttons going, oh no, there's another one. Our clubs just get papped out by somebody for Luxembourg or something. And it happens too regularly, and it's an embarrassment for the nation. But I've got a feeling that we're on a bit of an upward trajectory here, and I think Hibs can lead the charge. Obviously, Rangers, brilliant result against Panathinaikos on Tuesday. I think Hibs can go over there. I'm going to go for a 1-1, and I think that'd be a brilliant result to take home.
No, that'd be a fantastic result. I think everyone connected with Hibs would take that at the minute. You're right, it's unacceptable. You know, Rangers particularly have been carrying the flag for a number of years. Celtic as well at times. You know, but Rangers basically over the last 3 or 4 years, the coefficient, they've been racking the points up. So, you know, other clubs have got to contribute to that, and that means Aberdeen. You know, obviously Hearts are on it this year. Dundee United, Hibs this season. I mean, they've got to go and try and win a couple of ties. You know, you look every season and you see Welsh teams in the group stages and maybe Irish teams, and you're thinking, well, how can Hibs and Hearts or Aberdeen not get into that? Obviously, Aberdeen are guaranteed it, but you'd like to see Hibs in there as well. Maybe Dundee United. Dundee United, obviously, a tie they should go through. But yeah, you've got to be looking at the other Scottish clubs trying to help the likes of Rangers and Celtic, because the coefficient is quite tight at the minute. This is a big season for us, obviously, to get the points to keep those places, that automatic third place, kind of getting European football as well. So yeah, it's a massive tie for Hibs tonight. You're just hoping that they can go and pull off a bit of a shock. I think it would be a shock if Hibs go over there and get a draw or win the game. I think Midtjylland are hot favourites with the bookies as well.
And if they get through, obviously it's even more tempting because, I mean, look, I'm no expert on Scandinavian football, but it's Fredriksson of Norway in the next round. You'd imagine it's an easier tie than Midtjylland.
Henning Fredriksson.
Just Fredriksson. You'd imagine that's going to be easier than Midtjylland.
That is an easier tie. Yeah. And again, it's not unlike the Rangers scenario where, you know, I think that possibly Rangers, if they can get past Panathinaikos, I think the next kind of level or the next round of Champions League qualifiers is not quite as daunting as Panathinaikos potentially for Rangers. And I think it's similar with Hibs. And I've just reached the conclusion, and I think it's for all the right reasons, Tam. I believe the likes of your Hibs, your Aberdeens, your Dundee Uniteds and Hearts now, obviously I think this will be a big season for them. I think they've realised, and it's taken them a while to waken up to the idea, but I think they've realised Europe's where the money's at. It's worth really investing to really go for it and see if you can get regular European football. If you can get access regularly to the group stages of whatever European competition it is, that's where you're going to make your money. That's where Scottish football grows, and that's where you've got the best chance of, you know, increasing your income, your revenue streams, and reinvesting it and going again. I think it's a really healthy place for us to be in.
Aye.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think when you look at the money, obviously, that clubs can make, particularly in the Europa League group stage, you've seen the money that Rangers made over the last couple of seasons, making a lot of money in that group stage, and it's really helped them financially. But for the likes of an Aberdeen or a Hibs or a Hearts, it's huge money, and that can go and try and, instead of being best of the rest every year, you're right, if you can guarantee that every year, if you're really strong and you get that third place locked down, then you can go and try and attack the whole firm, try and get closer to them, and spend money. And I think you look this season, Aberdeen spent a lot of money. Hibs broke their transfer record. Hearts are spending money. So whether they think it's the European group stage, or maybe they think there's a weakness maybe at Rangers, with the new owners and new manager coming in, they're going to have a right go this season. I think those clubs, and I think you'll see a really, really competitive Scottish Premiership this year.
What do you think, Tam? Do you think there is a weakness there? Do you think there is the possibility for one of these clubs, at least one of these clubs, to try and get in between the pair of them and have a wrestle around in the mud?
Yeah, I think when you look at last season, I think Rangers were really poor domestically last season, and they lost a lot of games in the league. Probably the right time for one of the clubs to go and split Celtic and Rangers. Unfortunately, you'd Aberdeen, who had a fantastic first part of the season, and a dreadful second part, and it was opposite with Hibs. So if they could have put that together, then they could have went and had a real go at Rangers. And I just think this season, new manager coming in at Rangers, there's a lot of the natives are not happy, I don't think, with the appointment. There's a huge turnover of players, I think there'll be in the summer as well. So I just think that maybe a Hearts, Tony Bloom, somebody like that, even Hibs are thinking, by the way, can we go and maybe get closer to Rangers again this season and try and cause a wee shock and split the old firm? But listen, it's been such a long time since it's happened, and we speak about this every season. Split the old firm, and usually they finish 20, 25, 30 points behind. So, but I think this season, I think they can definitely get closer to Rangers for me.
I was going to say, Tam, with your Hibs hat on, obviously, are you a little bit concerned about what's going on across the city?
Yeah, listen, I think the biggest signing Hearts could make was Derek McInnes. I think that he's such a good manager, experienced manager, knows the Scottish game. And I think the Scottish League is, you need to know the game here. It's not pretty at times. There's a lot of longer balls. You've got to be fit. You've got to win second balls. You've got to be organised, hard to beat. And Derek McInnes has got all those things, and they're spending money as well. And so with Tony Bloom behind them, plus up and getting no European football. I think you see Aberdeen group stage football.
Yeah.
I think that'll affect him. I think that will affect him domestically. And if Hibs get into the group stage, listen, I hope they do, for the money, then Hearts could have a real clear path into that third place. So, yeah, I think Hearts will be really strong this season. They've been impressed with them in the League Cup as well.
Our viewers, Tam, are always keen to get to the nub, the very important information when we've got guests on. And Mark writes in wanting to know whose couch it is you're crashing on in the background there.
This is actually a very small wee room with all my strips and all that.
Ah, there you go.
I thought you were going to say with your medals.
That would be a matchbox for mine. But no, it's just a wee kind of a game room I've got with kind of strips and all that. But aye, it's.
I'm conscious, Tam, that kickoff's almost upon us in the Hibs game, so we'll need to let you go. But before I do, what's your prediction for tonight? How's it going to go?
I'm going to go for 2 each. And I think Hibs can stay in it. I think they're vulnerable at the back, but Hibs will need to defend really well to bring a draw back to Easter Road. So 2 each for me.
Brilliant, that's us, like-minded. I'll go 1-1, you go 2-2, Daniel.
I'm a wee bit worried about Hibs, to be honest, but everyone, even in the comments as well, everyone is kind of backing Hibs. So I'll go 1-0 Hibs. Why not? Rocky Bashiri header.
Okay.
There you go.
That's what not to bet.
Tam, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you very much. Hopefully having you on the
guys.
Hotline Live again soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tam.
Cheers, Tam. Tam McManus there. When we were sitting out earlier on, Keith said to one of our colleagues, we've got Tam Cowan coming on tonight. Just without even thinking. But aye, Tam.
He's looking well.
He's looking good. Gianni saying good luck, 100-1 for 2 each.
Is it?
That's what he says. That's what he claims.
Wow.
Wouldn't believe it. Gianni says no. We've talked obviously about Celtic and about Hibs. Should talk a little bit about Rangers.
Yeah.
Some big potential big transfer news coming out of Rangers today regarding the Crystal Palace winger Gers Rak-Sakyi.
Well done.
Yep, thank you. He apparently is a loan target for Rangers, but apparently it would come with a £10 million obligation or option to buy. That would be a massive statement by the new owners.
It's huge. If that's accurate, if this is something that Rangers are exploring right now, I find it interesting that it's a loan deal with an obligation. That might be financial fair play, or the other name for it.
PSR.
Yeah, PSR. Might be related to that they can loan now, buy later type deal. Which is fascinating because it points to what the new owners at Rangers believe the next 12 months might look like in terms of increased revenue and all these sort of things. But it tells you that, if they're prepared to even discuss a deal of that level at this minute in time, it tells you that the ground is shifting a little bit under everyone's feet. Last time Rangers spent money anywhere near that would have been, Ryan Kent.
Aye.
7 million.
7 million, aye.
And before that, I mean, I think at that price, £10 million, that's beaten only by the fee they splashed out for Torre Andre Flo all those years ago. So
I think I read earlier on that since 2020, so the last 5 years, they've only spent €5 million or more on 2 players.
Yeah.
I mean, so pretty huge. I mean, we've already got comments coming in on it. Sing the Blues says the £10 million reports are not true. Palace want £8 million for him. Even if it's £8 million.
£8 million is still a lot of money.
Aye. And he's not, I mean, he's I think you're right in saying he's 22 years old. He was on loan
He's clearly somebody that Rangers have identified. Russell Martin.
Yeah. His name's been about for a while.
Kevin Thelwell, yeah. And we've known all along they were looking for at least 2 wingers. So they've got one in, who made not a bad start on Tuesday night, and clearly, this could be the next part of the jigsaw for Rangers. I think things are starting to move. I believe that Robin Proper, I think his deal with 20 Enschede is moving quite rapidly now. That might start to crystallise over the next 24 hours, and that's another part of the kind of trade model that they need to get going. It's all very well identifying targets and spending money on people, but you actually need to get rid of some as well.
Yeah.
So I think I think Proper that might start to move in the next 24 hours, and I think he'll be the first of many.
Well, Rangers is he okay in the comments points out. He says read a report today willing to go to £8 million for Rak-Sakyi, which would be a statement of intent, but it'll probably be offset by Igaman going in the next few weeks. Can still see us buying 3 or 4. I think that's a good point. Igaman, I mean, even Dessers has future. I mean, I don't know. It seemed a couple of weeks ago he was definitely going to Ike Athens, and it's all kind of died now.
Yeah, and again, that's a measure of a new Rangers regime which isn't going to settle for the first offer.
Yeah.
They've put a value on Dessers, quite rightly so. He made a major goal contribution last season and the season before. So they'll have a price in their own head of what they think is value for money, in terms of accepting a bid. And clearly that bid that mark on the wall hasn't been reached yet. And that's, again, a sign that Rangers are in a different place financially from where they have been over the years, where 6 months ago, 12 months ago, they'd probably bitten somebody's arm off for that sort of fee for Dessers. So you can feel there's a change in momentum. And, as we've said, it's about time that Scottish clubs, Celtic have been the market leaders with this. They've got value for money. They've actually really achieved, tremendous the way they've worked the transfer market. But it would be good if Rangers could take a leaf out of that book. But it would also be great, and we've talked about this, bids getting knocked back for players at Pittodrie, the kind of low ball and stuff that happens every summer. Isn't it great if we're now in a position where Scottish clubs are flexing their muscles a little bit and saying, no, we won't stand for it?
Mm-hmm. Well, look, in the comments as well, Scott says he'd sell Dessers for even £4 million would be good business. Rangers is okay, says don't think £4 million for a player who scored 30 goals last season is unfair. I've got to be honest, I kind of agree with you in the sense that I think Scottish clubs have got to look around Europe and take the mick a bit more. If that's
certainly
right,
stand your ground.
Stand your ground, aye.
Yeah.
4 or 5 million is not a lot to these clubs.
Here's the thing, right? If you're Rangers, do you think you can replace a 30-goal striker with £5 million, €5 million, whatever it is that AK Athens were looking at? And the answer would be, well, yeah, if if you're a real magician, if you've got something right up your sleeve. But you know, Dessers might not be everybody's cup of tea, but he's, you know, a guy that has weighed in consistently with goals.
Yeah, I mean,
and yet there's no way of knowing with any sort of certainty, even if you're paying 6, 7, 8 million euros, are you going to get a guy coming in the way who can guarantee as many goals as the guy going out the way? And if you can't, then why do the business?
exactly. As Dennis says in the comments, sale Dessers for 5 million is crazy. Be better keeping him, as it will cost more to replace him. Not guaranteed a new striker will get 25 goals a season. That's the thing. Even if they go, we'll put all that 5 million into a new striker, there's no guarantees. Also in the comments, our pal Gianni says, what would your front three be next week in Greece? He says he thinks Andy Newport and Scott are flying over from Turkey for it. I don't think
they're not in the
I was
front
gonna
three.
say, I don't think they'll be in the front three. But it's an interesting question. I mean, if the guys like Dessers, Igaman have got another week of training under their belt, playing Middlesbrough at the weekend, obviously, do you think?
Danilo, you know, and I know that some Rangers fans were getting excited. Is this the rebirth of Danilo? Are they finally going to see the real Danilo? It was a bit of a damp squib of a performance from him.
Yeah.
As I said the other night, he's creamed a left foot volley, and it's heading into the. I mean, it's going to take the net off.
Looked like it was in now.
It took a deflection. It went wide. Kind of sums up Danilo's luck over the period as a Rangers player. And if that one goes in, then maybe he's flying in confidence. Maybe he goes on to have the night of his life, and maybe, you know, he keeps his place for the second leg. I don't think he showed anywhere near enough over the 90 minutes at Ibrox to justify keeping that shut for the second leg. So I think the option is then, do you go with Egerman? Do you go with Dessers? And I think purely on the weight of goals and the evidence that, you know, the back catalogue provides, you're probably going to go with Dessers for that game.
Aye. And then as well, Finlay Curtis, I said last night or whenever the game was, he won't give up that left side spot easily, and nor should he. I mean, great goal the other night, didn't stop running.
Again, I wonder, is it possible to get him and Gassama into the same team? Can one switch? Can one play right, one left?
Of course, because Kieran Dowell was in the right.
Yeah.
Without any harm to him.
Well, there's an obvious.
An obvious change.
Yeah. But you've also got Arsgaard, probably going to be in contention because he was named in the squad, and it's only a squad for these 2 games. So if he's not in contention, it would suggest that something's not going quite right with his rehab. He's obviously scheduled to be ready for the second leg. And again, there's a lot of excitement about him. I'm not sure. I don't think you would call him a winger, but I wonder, do you get him into the team someplace? So I think there's quite a lot for Russell Martin to think about ahead of that game. But I'm sure he'll have his own ideas. For me, if Finlay Curtis and Gassama, if you think that one can play right and one left, or if you want to switch them about, that might be the option.
Yeah. See, just going back to what we were talking about with Rak-Sakyi and Rangers transfers. See if Rangers were, hypothetically, to spend £8 to £10 million on a young player in this transfer window. Do you think that would put pressure on Brendan Rodgers and Celtic?
I think I don't know. No, I don't, in terms of, I think Celtic are perfectly happy to concentrate on what they are doing, concentrate on their business. So in terms of Brendan Rodgers, I don't think he'll be overly concerned by it. Celtic won't. Do you know who gets concerned and who starts getting angsty is if the Celtic fans see Rangers that are meant to be, you know, searching down the back of the couch for transfer funds, and that has been the way of things over the while. And if they're looking across and go, wait a minute, he's just signed an £8 million Premier League winger, then the heat gets transferred towards Brendan Rodgers and onto the board. But in terms of how Celtic and they go about their business, they'll be focused on what they're trying to do in the market, not what anybody else is doing. But it's impossible in this environment, in this city, for one to go without the other. If Celtic fans, who are already a little bit frustrated and angsty about this transfer window, if they see a deal like that getting done, then again, the anxiety level goes up a notch, and temper start to fray.
That's why I asked it, because I think that's what would happen. A lot of Celtic fans would be like, hang on a minute, we're meant to be
How can they do that?
we're meant to be the rich ones. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll force the Celtic boss hand.
Competition's always a good thing,
Aye.
and this is why, you know, we haven't had a great deal of competition in Scottish football for a while in terms of the
Best part of 15 years.
who's lifting the trophies. So yeah, and competition also is the thing that kills off complacency.
Yeah.
And that's so important because you should always be striving to be better. And you know, Celtic have had it, I'm not going to say easy, but their priority has been just stay ahead, just do enough to be significantly better than the guys on the other side of the fence, and everything just keeps ticking over. But if the guys on the other side of the fence are actually come into a few quid and they're building an extension,
Aye, exactly.
you better do something to keep up with the neighbours and stay in front of them.
Aye. We should say Hibs just about kick-off in Denmark. We will keep you up to date with any goals, any action that takes place before we wrap up tonight. And before we wrap up tonight, Keith, I wanted to draw our viewers' attention towards a Hotline Live special, which is now in the can.
We've been busy today in the can.
In the can.
Aye, man.
Aye, it's sorted, shall we say. It's been recorded. And
Ron Seal.
And Ron Seal, that's it. If anyone wants to watch our Hotline Live
Quite
special,
good, isn't it?
It was with, shall we say, it was with Paul Murray,
Yeah.
former Rangers director and chairman. Today was the sort of only time he could fit it in, so we recorded it today, and it'll be out tomorrow. But I mean, as a wee preview, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great chat.
There's some very interesting things, and I think when people watch this, they'll understand, you know, that Paul Murray has been fairly deeply embedded in this whole American takeover stuff that we learnt today, that I think came as a surprise to me. I'm sure it'll come as a surprise to the Rangers fans out there. Some fascinating stuff, including I really like, I won't give too much away, an undercover trip. It's almost like an episode of Undercover Boss, wasn't it? And you know, which without kind of ruining the story or plot spoiling, how do we put this? The men in charge, or the man who's in charge of the Rangers takeover, Andrew Kavanagh, he turned up at a place and nobody knew, and he wasn't in the posh seats either. And this was probably the moment that he decided that he was going to push the button on the deal to buy Rangers, a controlling interest. Fascinating stuff, and more. There was a whole lot more. And Paul, obviously, everybody knows his involvement all along over the decades, the Craig White stuff, the David Murray stuff, Charles Green got a mention.
We talked about all that, aye.
There's some fascinating things.
Just for anyone that doesn't get around to watching it, you told an amazing story, I thought, at the start of the show. You don't need to tell the whole story, but
No.
it was really fascinating, just the stuff that was going on during that whole Craig White, Charles Green era. I mean,
It was craziness.
craziness, aye, absolute craziness, involving Walter Smith as well. So aye, it's going to be out.
I think we should just make something clear that Walter wasn't involved.
Oh no,
in
sorry.
any-
I didn't mean that. I meant your story involved Walter Smith.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, but it was a story I think that had to get told in the context of how important Paul has been to, you know, this almost endless ongoing battle for Rangers to keep their head above water over the last week while. Paul's been really a pivotal figure, and the little story that I tell at the start of the show shows that, you know, the major guys, the real key men around the football club have known it, and Walter being one of them.
Gianni says Keith's dressed up as Hulk Hogan last Halloween for a big do I had at the restaurant. Hulk Hogan's obviously passed away today, Keith. I don't know if you saw that. It's a shame, but is that true? You were the Hulkster?
No, I don't do pajamas, and I don't do fancy dress.
I believe you, Gianni. To be honest, I haven't seen some of the outfits that Keith comes into the office with.
That's not fancy dress, that's fashion.
Aye, going back to our special, it will be on Record Sport. It'll be on Record Sports social media channels, X, Facebook, YouTube, from tomorrow at noon, Friday at noon. We don't normally do a show on Friday.
No,
but
so there you go. You've got a bonus edition.
exactly.
Don't say we're not good to you.
We're very good to our viewers. Before we wrap up, Hibs, I believe, are still 0-0 with Midtjylland. Let me confirm that. Yep, 4-0. And I think that brings us to the end of Thursday night's Hotline Live with Record Sport. As I say, you can catch our special with Paul Murray tomorrow at noon. And after that, we'll be back on Sunday at 6 p.m, where we can pour over everything that's going on in Scottish football.
Yes.
Keith, it's always a pleasure.
And you.
Thanks for all your comments, and we hope you can join us Sunday.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.